there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with a huge update to the Iconic Masters. The set was spoiled very quickly. This was a unique way of spoiling the set. They had people actually draft it at HasCon, and so all of the spoilers trailed in very quickly. I think we have the entire list of the rares and the mythics, as well as the uncommons and commons are slowly coming in. So there's 53 rares and 15 mythics, I believe. I believe it's done here. And right out the gate, this almost looks more like a Modern Masters 4 rather than what we thought Iconic Masters was going to be. I thought, personally, that it's going to be a lot more legacy and vintage type cards and less on the modern end of the spectrum. But it looks like this is very geared towards modern, as well as has some really good prints in Commander. A lot of these cards have gone up a ton and are extremely expensive. They're Commander staples. And so if they hit those two elements the most, which I think is smart because that's where the demand is, that's where reprints have to happen, as the price of a lot of these cards are becoming unattainable to the average player. Once you get above the $30 mark, that's where people have a tough time actually committing to buy something. Personally, even me as a store owner, I hate to keep cards on hand that are over $30 just because they have so much volatility. I don't like having that kind of capital locked up for cards. So first off, let's just talk about the biggie. The big spoiler here is Mana Drain. That's going to be the most expensive card being spoiled so far. It holds a price tag of almost $200, was only printed in Legends. It is a Mythic. See if we can find it here with, let's just click on Mythic Spoiler from Iconic Masters, and should show some of the cards here. We'll look at them, and it has Mana Drain, which was not here. We'll find it though. There it is, Mana Drain. So it's got new artwork, I believe, yeah. And yeah, so this is actually legal in Commander. I think this will definitely be, I would say, $60 to $75 in price after the dust settles. It could even go lower than that, because if you look at like Mana, was it Mana Vault or Mana Crypt, which is the one that was reprinting Eternal? I always get those two mixed up. And some of the other ones, the higher price tag cards that had very low print runs and then were printed in a master set, they tend to go down to the $60 mark. And so I don't think that anything is different here for Mana Drain. I think you'll see a huge decrease in price. By far the most significant decrease. Of course, this card is only expensive because it is in Legends. Legends is something that has been being bought up by collectors. There have been, I would say, the past month or 2 months, that's been the big news of the market world, is Antiquities, Legends, even a little bit the Dark, but mostly Antiquities, Legends, Arabian Nights, Alpha, Beta, Unlimited have been being, every card, even if it's playable or not, has slowly been bought up as collectors are trying to finish collections and sell those as complete sets. So anyway, Mana Drain, the reprint on this will go significantly down. It's the most exciting one so far. Well, it's going to be the most exciting, the chase card out of the set. The next big group is I would say, Commander staples. All of these, they seem to at least hit one out of each color. Yeah, one out of each color of the Commander staples. So first off is Shieldred. Shieldred, we'll look up some of these prices in a second. So Shieldred goes in a ton of decks. We'll go ahead and look at EDH Rec here too and see how many decks these go into, but they're going to be very significant for Shieldred, for Jin Cataxius, for I say Avacyn and Elish Norn, so I guess White gets spoiled. They get two of them. Then Urbras the Hidden, and then we also have the Vorinclex Voice of Hunger. So White, Blue, Black, Red, and I guess, yes, Red also has the Urbras Hidden. So all the what were these guys? The avatars, or or not the avatars, from the Mirrodin. All of those were reprinted in this set, and all of them have a lot of pressure from Commander. They are extremely popular cards, especially like Consecrated Sphinx and Vorticlex. Those are insanely popular cards, shouldered in that category as well in Commander. So you can see them here. You have Shieldred the Whispering One, Jin Cataxius, and all those beautiful cards that go with it. Then we have it's more of the modern cards that needed a reprint that haven't had them in a while. So we have some over $20 cards like Archangel Thune. Sees play in various either Abzan builds. It's my go-to card, of course, in Soul Sisters. It's one of the best finishers for Soul Sisters. We also have the Primeval Titan, which has been going... It got kind of a huge price decrease after the Amulet Titan deck, after Summer's Bloom was banned. But Amulet Titan is still a legit deck, and Primeval Titan is also in Titan Shift. It's also in Through the Breach decks as well. So Primeval Titans has a lot of pressure from the modern, and is in the #1 deck at the moment, according to MTG Goldfish, which is the Scape Shift, or Titan Shift. And so that is a much needed reprint, I would say. They don't like to reprint it in any other... They can't print it in Commander box sets or Casual one, because the main place that Primeval Titan is used for Casual, in Commander, it is banned. So there's Primeval Titan and Archangel Thune, and then we have Kiki Jiki Mirrorbreaker / Thundermaw Hellkite, which both see some play in Modern. Of course, Kiki Court is still a thing. Thundermaw sees play every now and again in, I would say, anywhere from Jund lists to Titan Shift lists. It's a great way to get rid of the Lingering Souls. There is a few other times that Thundermaw starts to see a lot of play. Skred, I'll play it in every now and again if Lingering Souls is a big issue. And it's definitely an option. Of course, Elesh Norn sees a little bit of modern play as well. So maybe they chose the white. That'd be the white version of the modern card that they reprinted. And then I guess so yeah, blue had Consecrated Phoenix Slash, the Jin Gataxias, but so it looks like 2 of each that have either EDH or modern playability. The only ones that the outliers here are going to be Channel, Mana Drain, and Necropotence, which all see play, of course, in Vintage, these are all banned, I believe, in Legacy. So it did get a little bit of those with the Iconic, but it did seem to target the Commander and the Modern a lot more focused than I definitely thought. So no Tarmogoyf. I could have seen another Tarmogoyf reprint, but that would have been the straw that breaks the camel's back. Of course, in 2025 might actually be the more iconic set. And no Liliana. And Liliana was a huge surprise to me. I thought that they would continue the Masters tradition and print 2 Planeswalkers, and the ones that I thought were going to be Liliana. And I also thought the other one was going to be Karn Liberated. I didn't think that Jace, I think 25 is where they do Jace. Liliana and Jace will probably be the 25 cards, the Planeswalkers for that set. But who knows? This has definitely thrown us for a curveball with the iconic Masters. So let's get over to the rares. The rares here are... there are some really good ones, and I'm happy about 2 of them, specifically 2 of them, because we desperately need reprints for Modern, because they're keeping back budget decks from being budget. So the first one I want to talk about is Aether Vial, and we also have the Horizon Canopy. Now, both of these cards see a ton of play in Modern, Aether Vial in Death and Taxes lists, as well as in the Merfolk, and both those I think can now be pushed down to budget, because Aether Vial was a huge, it was keeping the price back, or price high for those type of decks. So investment opportunities, I think the Merfolk, there's some smart options, other than we don't know what's going to be in the Merfolk dual deck. So that's a very volatile target there for those type of them. But Death and Taxes, I think there are some goodies that you can start investing in with we'll talk about this more for Market Monday, I think. Or when I do a more in-depth rogue market. So Aether Vial and Horizon Canopy. Of course, I dumped about $100 into Horizon Canopy Bogle's cards. So I bought, I think, over 10 of each of the Core Spirit Dancer, as well as the Daybreak Coronet. And so that was the one investment I did do today, and I expect those to go up in value. There's also some other good ones here. Huge design foul. Kali of the Vast was not printed in this. And Kali of the Vast is it would have worked perfectly in this list, as everything is Angels, Demons, and Dragons. So that's sad that didn't get put in. So anyway, a few other notable reprints. Bloodghast is a huge reprint for Modern, so is Auric Champion. So Soul Sisters is going to be much. Soul Sisters gets all 3 of the expensive cards reprinted. So it's back to being a budget deck, I would say, after this Iconic Masters comes out, because it does get the Auric Champion and the Archangel Thune, as well as the Sarah Ascendant. So those were all 3 of those were the pricey cards. Ranger got a reprint, so that it's going to be insanely inexpensive. Anger of Gods got another reprint, so Wizards has now kicked me in the teeth 3 times in a row. 3 specs that I went all in on. One was the Anger of the Gods, the other was Harbinger of Tides, and the other one was, now I can't think of what the other card that I went all in as a spec, long-term spec, that was reprinted in Commander. Zendikar Resurgence was another one. There was another card, though, from Theros/Return Ravnica that I went all in that got reprinted that I didn't expect to get a reprint this quickly. So anyway, Anger of Gods kicked me in the teeth there. Ancestral Visions is another huge reprint at Rare. Bloodghast, reprint at Rare. Cryptic Command gets another reprint at Rare. Cyclonic Rift does not get a reprint. So for all of you that are looking for an amazing investment, I've been sinking a lot of money lately into the Cyclonic Rift. I've been buying them at $4 whenever I can find them at $4. And if you could look at the price trajectory of them, they've been going up very, very quickly. As it's, I think, the 3rd most played card in Commander. It's insanely played. I think it goes like Soul Ring, Eternal Witness, then a Cyclonic Rift or something like that. I maybe even Cyclonic Rift might be the 2nd most played of the Commander cards. But anyway, it did not get a reprint here. Some bulky stuff in here, of course. Some people are happy about like Curse Predation because it has a foil now. Some of these Angels are extremely bulky. Flusterstorm's a nice one for, it does need a reprint for Legacy. Glimpse of the Unthinkable might make the mill decks more accessible, so you'll see some budget mill decks because a lot of those cards are extremely inexpensive, and it was Glimpse of the Unthinkable that was keeping them back. So maybe for an investment opportunity, you could think of what's the artifact that upkeep you, or when you ever untap a permanent, you have to mill a card, whatever that card is. I can't think of it. Mesmeric Orb, I believe. That could be an easy spec. Grove of the Burn Wheels will make Red-Green Tron, even though Red-Green Tron has fallen out of favor, but it might have a resurgence of Red-Green Tron, so think Karn Liberated, think Ugin here. You never know when the Red-Green version. Red-Green's better at beating the go-wide strategies. Either Black-Green or White-Green is better at the single target removal, like Death Shadow and Eldrazi, the Eldrazi version, the Eldrazi Tron. So if we ever do have like go wide as a thing in Modern again, then I think that the Red-Green Tron will have a resurgence. Let's see here. Other notable cards. All the Dragons got a reprint. Some of them do have quite a bit of pressure from Commander. Megas the Moon was a very expensive card, but it's basically because of its low supply. So maybe some like Court of Calling decks or some Collected Company decks will be able to start throwing more of these Megas the Moons in the mix. Lotus Cobra doesn't see a lot of Modern play every now and again, but it's a very popular Commander card. We have another Nismuth at the Firemine. Guy got another reprint. Oblivion Stone. There we go. Red Green Tron gets another one. Obstinate Bailoff usually goes in the sideboard for that deck as well. So both of those get a nice little reprint. We have another Restoration Angel. So I would start targeting these at $1 a piece. Restoration Angel goes in a lot of decks in Modern. It's also a casual favorite. It gets better as the more cards are reprinted. I think this is going to be the last reprint in a while, as it just had a Modern Masters 3 reprint. Another huge Commander card here, Runescar Demon, gets a reprint, and it's a staple, and so this is definitely needed. Scourge of Valkis, which I'm glad because I unloaded all those when they spiked from Commander, and so now I get a refill on them. But other than that, Teferi Mage of Zalfir is another nice little. This was spiking up because of Commander, and Thoughtseize original art was reprinted, so you can check that out here. So this was a lot more expensive, I believe $30 more than the other Thoughtseize printing out of Theros. I was very surprised to see Thoughtseize. Well, I wasn't, because it's very iconic, but I thought they were going to save this as the chase card, one of the chase cards for the Modern Masters 4 as Theros and Return to Ravnica, or Theros and is it the Concept Arcare is eligible next time around. Yeah, I believe those 2 sets are eligible. So I thought that there's not a lot of value out of Concept Arcare, so Thoughtseize I thought they'd have to hold back. So all in all, it seems to be a pretty good set. It does look like Monastery Swiftspear is going to be an uncommon here. I was hoping that it was a common, because that would have just really... Yeah, I can't tell if this is a common or an uncommon. We need more information for the Monastery Swiftspear. I'm sure the information is out while doing this video, but there's some cool cards that have been downshifted. Sanguine Bond got downshifted. Exquisite Blood was not reprinted again. So Sanguine Bond got a double reprint, and you can consider that even a triple because it's an uncommon now in the set. So therefore, oh geez, Jace's Phantasm got downshifted to a common. That is pretty crazy for Pauper. A lot of Pauper additions here. But all in all, seems pretty cool. As a set to draft, looks pretty interesting to do so. Kali wasn't in there though, so fail there. Let me know in the comment sections what you think about this set. It really took me by surprise because this, again, looks way more like a modern Masters set than an iconic Masters type set. So that is very surprising. A little bit of other things. Ixalan did get some awesome spoilers. I guess we'll go ahead and talk about that here while we're on the topic of the spoilers. So you can see that, let's get out of here, these iconic Ixalan. Let's just talk about these really quickly. We have a Lurking Chupacabra. They're really going in the Native American culture, or Mexican Aztec culture, aren't they? This is whenever a creature control explores, get a target creature gets -2/2. That's going to be very good because we do get some good explore enablers. Vraska is a very interesting card. A lot of people are hating on it because it's 6 mana. It does enter the battlefield with 6 loyalty, so you can use its -3 twice. So that, I think, is going to make it very playable. I think the sideboards of Green-Black Constrictor might want this, especially since it does have a one-shot combo with a card that's already being used, which is Walking Ballista. So it's +2, you get to create a 2/2 black pirate. It's -3, you get to destroy an artifact, creature, and enchantment, and create a treasure. And it's -10, its target life totals becomes 1. So you can go +2/+2, have Vraska be at 10, and then -10 Vraska to have target life totals become 1, and then Walking Ballista it away. So keep that in mind. I'm sure that people will that will happen. I wish MTGO would actually do achievements, because that would be a really fun achievement to have with Vraska Relic Seeker and Walking Ballista. Merfolk Branchwalker is probably one of the more cards that I'm excited, because it gives us a low Explore card. It's 2 mana for a 2/1 when Merfolk Branchwalker enters the battlefield to explore. So Explore either makes it a 3/2, and then you can either put that card in the graveyard or back on top of the library. That's huge. So if you don't want it, loot it. If you do want it, keep it on top. And if it is a land, you put it into your hand. So it ends up being a draw, a put in the graveyard, and get a +1/+1, or keep it on top and a plus. So a 3/2 for 2 mana is extremely good. I mean, there's still going to be Magma Spray and Shock in the format, but that's fine if you've already got value out of the card by drawing the land half the time, or a third of the time, or at least given a threat that your opponent has to deal with. You also have to consider, too, with the Winding Constrictor, this comes in as a 4/3 if it does get that additional counter. So I think that that's pretty powerful enough to put in that slot. But that slot's already taken by the Glint Sleeve Siphoner and Longtusk Cub, so it's very tough to replace that, but it might be worthwhile still in the Constrictor deck. Then we have some awesome vampires that got spoiled. Bishop of the Bloodstain has 5 mana for 3/3. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses a life for each vampire you control. So it's just an easier one for at least the Markov deck in Commander. It's the converted mana costs 1 less, I believe, or is it 2 less from the vampire? It does a very similar ability. Standard, I don't think it's quite playable. It's a lot for 5, but I guess if you swarm out with vampires, this could dish off some decent damage. But we rotated a lot of vampires already from the Innistrad set, so I don't know. This starts to make Frontier look better and better, though, when these older sets are working with, or these newer sets are working with older sets that are still eligible, but not, I mean, this card would never be powerful enough for Modern. So anyway, the card that I really want to talk about is Search for the Azcanta. So anyway, this card is just amazing. This is one of the more solid cards that has been printed in a long time. It's a 2 mana for a legendary enchantment. At being upkeep, you get a look at the top card of the library, and you may put it into your graveyard. So it almost has a scry type effect, which I think is even more powerful than scry. Then if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform it, and it then turns into a land. And look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature non-land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Where I like this, I kind of like this in a Godpharaoh's Gift, other than the majority of your cards are going to be creatures, and it gets non-creatures, non-land. However, it is still extremely powerful because it just turns into a mana source, so it can theoretically ramp you up by as quick as turn 3. Turn 3 is really rough. I mean, there's ways to do it in like Death Shadow type builds, but it's more likely to be turn 4 or turn 5 this can flip, and then it just, at that point, it's just pure gas. And this ability is really good. The being upkeep just basically fix whatever's on top of your library. I mean, just think how good Thassa was for that ability. So really like this card. It's one of the more solid cards printed so far. Then we have Enrage Enabler with Ryle. Ryle deals 1 damage to target creature you control. That creature gains trample. So another cantrip type card. You get a draw card off of it. You get the Enrage. This is going to be, I think this might be playable in a constructed Dinosaur Enrage build. Where I like this better, though, of course, is limited. It's a very solid limited card as a cantrip. It is still one of those cards that triggers off the instant sorcery type theme that sort of is going on right now in this set. And, of course, Enrage. So Rampaging Ferocidon. 3 mana for 3/3 menace. Players can't gain life. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. This gives Ramen Up Red a way to combat the life gain strategies, which I think is very, very much needed, as Aether Sphere Harvester is a kind of tough card for them. Is this better than the Crop Captain, though? The 3/3 menace is really powerful, and it really affects them putting in creatures, so this is definitely a hate card towards like Regal Caracal and Angels of Inventions. So if not in the main board, this is definitely going to be a sideboard card, and I think it's exactly what Ramen Up needs. We still do need to see another aggressive 1-drop red card, I would say, for 2 of them rotate, and that is a huge piece to it, but it still is solid. Dinosaur Stampede, attacking creatures get +2/+0 and trample if they're dinosaurs. Yeah, we see these like one every set that deals with some sort of like tribe. So this is really more of a limited thing than I would say a constructed. Is it playable and constructed? I guess. Usually these typically things you want when you have like a go wide strategy, 1, 2, 3, like servos type thing. All right, this is another interesting card, the Conquer of Battle, where I really, really like this card is with the Monument. The Monument might have cards like the problem with the Monument, the white Monument, is a lot of its really solid pieces are rotating. However, this is a very good solid addition to the Monument. As when you cast this, when it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a card named Conquer of Battle, reveal and put in your hand. So you can really chain off with this. So it'll cost 1 less. So on turn 4, you can cast 2 of these and have a 2/2, a 1/1, a 2/2, and a 1/1 with the Monument. So I think that's pretty solid for the deck. And it does feel a little bit like Squadron Hawk, not nearly as powerful because you can go get all of your Squadron Hawks. But this is a fun card. And limited, this is really fun too when you go in that draft and no one's taking these and you end up with 7 of them. So anyway, that has happened to me before with similar cards. And then we'll talk about the ones that were spoiled yesterday. I didn't talk about it. We have some cool raid pirates. You draw a card if you attack with a creature this turn. Very solid. A Lookout's Dispersal, which allows you to counter a spell for 1 less if you control a pirate. Counter strike spell unless they pay 4. Solid card. A 1/2 death can gain Death Touch, great for limited. A dinosaur creature can go get +1/+1 and create a 3/3 dinosaur. I can't remember what the cost of this is. I think it's 5 or 6. Then we have the dinosaur spells cost 1 less, and you can give a dinosaur haste. Could be solid in the dinosaur deck. Some filler dinosaurs. Draw 2 cards and discard a card unless you attack with a creature this turn. That's actually a really powerful card. I actually like Chart a Course. It is, yeah, it's super solid, I would say. because it's just draw 2 if you attack with a creature. If not, it's fine to draw 2 and discard a card. It helps fill up graveyard and graveyard-based strategies. This is a very, very solid card. Fell Flagship, 3/3 pirates. You can drink a +1/+0 whenever Fell Flagship deal common damage to a player. That player discards a card. I don't know. This would be tough. The Crew 3 is absolutely tough, but Mardu might want this over Aethersphere Harvester, for example, because the Scrappy Scrounger and the Toolcraft Exemplar can crew this. Also, pirates that come in as 2/1s possibly become 3s that can crew this. I don't think this is that bad of a card. The 3/3 is a little bit of a liability with Lightning Strike, and Braid kills any of them, but Lightning Strike still kills it. So does. Is there another 3? I don't know if there's... Oh, yes, there's the deal 3 damage to a creature, gain 3 life card. So that's absolutely going to play an effect on this. I believe there's also the one that does 3 damage to attacking creature is still in, right? Or did that rotate? No, that's still in. I believe it is. The white, the 1 mana and a 1 white and a colorless. 3 damage target attacking or blocking creature. I don't think that rotated. Growing Rights of Itlamic is really cool. This is the one that enters the battlefield. The top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them. Put in your hand and put the rest on the bottom of your library. Or at the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform it. So literally on turn 3, you could have 4 or more creatures in like an Elf deck in Modern. So you can go turn 1, Mana Dork, turn 2, Mana Dork, and a Elite, Dwynen's Elite. And then turn 3, cast this, and then flip it, and then you have a Gaia's Cradle, because it taps for a green or a Gaia's Cradle, so which is super solid. I think people are underestimating this card. It's very, very powerful. Yes, it's legendary, so yeah, I don't know. Elves should want a 1-of, I would say. I think it's worthwhile. Then we have Commune with Dinosaurs. What a very creative name, Wizards. Look at the top 5 cards of the library. You may reveal a dinosaur or a land, put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom. Sure, in a dinosaur deck, this is going to be their version of Attune with Aether. Then we have the Moggen's Marauder. It's a Vigilance Lifelink for a 4/4 for 5 mana, and you can pay 7 life to destroy target non-permanent. It's going to make a pretty cool commander, in my opinion, in a life gain commander deck. But is Eilidh just better at that point, or Karlov? Who knows? But it can go in addition to those. Argol's Bloodfast. Pay 2 life, draw a card at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have 5 or less life, you may transform it. I mean, so it's like a fixed greed for Commander. Commander, I think, could still like it. The pay 2 life or 2 mana versus 1 mana is a lot, but it does come out quicker. And then you have the ability to have the high market effect. So it can tap for a black or sacrifice a creature and gain its toughness. So rounding out some other spoilers, we have another Enrage mechanic that gains 2 life or creates a 3/3 green dinosaur. Where I really like the Raptor Hatchling is somehow we can get the toughness above 1/1. So like a Metallic Mimic, for example, or one of the Dinosaur Lords. Then you can keep pinging this and create a ton of dinosaurs. So Walking Blister gets really interesting with this set. And the Ranging Raptors is cool too. It's a 2/3, and whenever it's dealt damage, you get to search your library for a land to put on the battlefield. This is kind of fun for another Walking Ballista type deck. Any other pingers we have at the moment? I think there might be a few that I'm forgetting about that can ping creatures, and that's pretty sweet with Ranging Raptors. Doesn't this make an infinite combo? Not infinite, but a pretty cool combo with wasn't there a landfall creature that pinged a creature? Whenever a land came into play, you could ping something. Oh man, that'd be fun. Basically, twice per turn, you can get 2 extra lands and then ping an opponent. And yep, that's where we got to with the spoilers. So all in all, both these sets are looking really cool. Exciting times for Magic. I'm hoping it brings in a lot of new players. Magic has been on a downturn. My local game store could really use an influx of players. I guess the last topic is Magic Arena. I'll do a full video on that sometime. My thoughts about Magic Arena. In all, I think it's a net good. I mean, anything they're doing to get more people into the game is good. And to me though, it's kind of scary what they've been saying on some of their announcements, some of their articles. There's a lot of uncertainty about the future of MTGO, and Magic Arena just doesn't seem like it's a similar experience. So whereas Magic Online is literally like playing paper Magic, Arena seems more of an impulsive Hearthstone type play. So I don't know. I'll wait. I'll wait to play it. I've signed up for beta. Hopefully I get it. If so, we'll do some gameplay with it and see how we like it. And I don't know. I think the two can exist. I'm not a big conspiracy theorists like some people that think that MTGO and Arena can't exist at the same time. I think that if they use their resources wisely, they could easily bleed into each other and cross promote each other. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.